to GOlive TV, the future in your hands. The only multicultural IPTV station that brings communities together. Over 2.7 million people have already watched. GOlive TV, anytime, anywhere.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Holy TV. Holy stands for Heal Our Land, Yahweh. Yahweh is a Hebrew word that means God, and we are here to make this world a better place. My name is Irina, aka Queen I, and I will be your co-host for today. And before we start and dive into our show, I'd like to do something very important. And that is to acknowledge our land, our beautiful land. Toronto is a traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Chippewa, the Anishinaabeg, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. And it's now a land to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We'd also like to acknowledge that Toronto is covered by the Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, as well as the Williams Treaty signed with the multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. And now we'd like to open up our show with a talented musician, Sam Agbonda. He can play 7 instruments, and he was already on our show before, so it's a pleasure to welcome him back. He'll start by opening with a wonderful, beautiful song with his sister, Amarachi, which means grace of God. Please welcome.
Morning, everyone. Hope your day is going well. Yeah, I'm here with my sister, Amarachi. We're going to be singing a song to glorify the name of the Lord. It's called Waymaker. Originally sung by Sinach, but I thought it was fitting in this moment. We acknowledge the name of the Lord. Acknowledge how He makes a way where there is no way. So we're here to worship His name. We'll lift Him up. Worship You. You are here. You're moving in our midst. I worship You. I worship You. You are here, working in this place. You're working in this place. I worship You. I worship You. And You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who You are. And You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who You are. You are, yeah. You're healing every heart. You're healing every heart. I worship You. I worship You. You are, yeah. You are, yeah. Turning lives around. Turning lives around. I worship You, Lord. I worship You. I worship You. 'Cause You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who You are. And You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, That is who you are. 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 That is who you. That is who you are. 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 That is who. Oh, you make a way where there is no way. That is. Oh, you're working in this place, Lord. That is who you are. That is who you are. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. Even when I don't see it, we say. Even when I don't see it, you're working. And even when I don't feel it, you're working. Never stop. Oh, because you are the way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, bless your name this day, Lord. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to be here to worship and exalt your name. Because you are the name above all names, Lord. Be thou glorified. Just name of worship. Amen.
Put your hands together for that. Hold on 1 second. Before you go, just give me a hug. That was just so wonderful. I am telling you, I love the sound of worship. Your name is Amarachi. Wow, what a beautiful. What's their name mean again?
The grace of God.
The grace of God. Amarachi. I don't know. I have to ask. Who's older here?
I'm older.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. So what's the year between you two right now?
It's like a year.
Just a year. Yeah. All right. So this is your big sister.
Yeah.
Right.
I look up to her.
All right. And now she's looking up to you. So has she been a good sister? Yeah. I just got to ask a question because you guys sounded so melodious together. Have you guys ever thought about performing together, like literally writing music and singing and just bringing down the glory of the Lord?
Well, I mean, because of our shadows, we tend to be in different places at different times. So it's not often we get together like this. So honestly, being on here is just a real privilege.
Yes.
And we're so thankful for it.
All right, that's good. Thank you very much. And listen, I wouldn't mind love to having you back and hearing your story and how you overcame situations in your life. So feel free to give me a call and we'll set something up, all right? Give me one more hug. Thank you very much. Put your hands together one more time for Amarachi. All right, let's just make a transition from the music area there, Sam, over to, you're going to be the blue chair, all right, Sam? We're going to give you the king chair today. All right. And of course, you already know my wonderful co-host here, Queen I.
Oh, should I have grabbed my mic?
Oh, yes, you need a microphone. Amarachi, can we have that microphone you had, please? Okay, or you can just grab the one there. All right, awesome.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Sam. That was beautiful.
No,
We love having you here, as usual.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's such an awesome atmosphere here, and I'm really thankful to be on here.
Beautiful. Thank you. So we'd like to ask you some questions since you've been on our show a few times now, performing wonderfully, and we wanted to just get to know you a little bit more. And if you don't mind, we'll ask you some personal questions.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So that the audience.
We're going to get intimate right now,
Oh,
Sam.
no.
It's time to take the gloves off.
Oh,
That's right. So let's start just by getting to know where you're from. Where were you born?
Okay, well, I was born in Nigeria. Not many people might actually know because a lot of people try and figure out where's the accent from. But yeah, I was born in Nigeria. Yeah, and then I moved over to Canada, yeah, in the early 2010, around that time. Can't remember
Okay.
exactly, but
Did you come to Canada by yourself, or did you come with your family?
actually I came by myself. It was actually interesting how it happened because I'd finished secondary school back in Nigeria, and I
Right.
was looking for something to do. I actually thought I'd go to a university there, find a job in IT or something like that, because IT was becoming really popular.
Right.
But by the grace of God, there was an opportunity to come to Canada to study, and I don't know, everything just fell in place, but it was more like right place, right time. And I had the opportunity to come here. I did come here alone, though, because of the nature of that opportunity. But yeah,
Okay.
I believe I came in when I was, what, like around 16?
60. And you said that's approximately around 2010, so that leaves around 12 years you've been here.
Yeah, just about.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Was there any challenges coming to Canada?
Well, I'd say the first challenge you see when you get to Canada is winter. We're talking like
Okay.
minus.
I'll tell you this. It's funny you should say that. I came here in 1971. I was 6 years old, and I can remember the transition from the airport to the taxi driver. And all I could say was that was the first time I felt air bite me. That's the way I describe cold weather.
Yeah.
Air biting you.
Exactly. Yeah, I also came in the winter. I think I came around like January.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember it as well when I was in the airport there. Like I was literally like blowing, like I'm talking but I'm blowing smoke. I'm like, this is so weird.
How about the cultural difference? Was that a challenge?
Honestly, in a sense, yeah, because since I didn't grow up here, there's a lot of things you don't really know, whether it's pop culture or the way of life or even the way I spoke. Although like growing up, I did speak English, but it sounds different. Everyone say talk slower because I was really, really excited when I was talking. What's good? Da, 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 da. No one could literally understand what I was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you came here, then you did enroll into school, so you have some Canadian education?
Yes, I do.
And where did you go for schooling?
Oh, so that was the University of New Brunswick.
Okay.
Yeah, I studied there for 4 years. And then before coming over here.
Okay, so you said you came here when you were around 16.
Yeah.
So you didn't do any high school?
No, I came here straight for university. I finished high school when I was, 15?
Wow, because at age 16. So, because over here, we normally, going into college and university around 18, 19.
Yeah.
Right, so that's amazing. So you must have been one of the youngest ones on campus.
Yeah, pretty much. And that in itself actually posed a bit of a challenge because there's a lot of events you can't really go to, for
Right.
example.
Okay.
Or like living on campus when you're super young, it's difficult because there's a lot of, you can't like see people, you can't be out at a certain time.
Okay.
But there's some things you need to go to.
Right.
So like whether it's like a special lecturer is coming in this auditorium and you got to go meet up with them or
Right.
so on and so forth.
Well, we're not a dating service, but we do want to know, though, just in case there's somebody out there that's looking maybe for a tall, dark, and handsome, melodious fellow. Are you married?
No, by the grace of God,
By the grace of God, so you don't want to?
Hey, no.
Are you running from marriage?
No. Marriage is a beautiful thing.
Okay.
When it's the right time, it's the right time.
Okay.
For now, I'm taking each day at a time, learning from the moments. Honestly, like this is one great moment that I actually don't know if I'd be on this show if I was married because I'd be too focused on my family to be here. So,
right.
See, there's trade-offs to that. So,
Right. Okay, that's cool.
And back to the Canada topic, just what made you choose? I understand you came not alone because you were still young, 16, but do you know what was the choice? Why Canada?
no, it
Why
was
did
pretty
you guys
much
come
they were
here?
like, we have an opportunity. It's Canada. Take it and go.
So did you have to apply for a visa?
Thankfully, the way I went through, they did a lot of the application, so I didn't have to go through a lot of the major legwork. Of course, there was like a big delay. I think it took almost a year for everything to get done with the admissions, the visa. Thankfully, I had the support of my family and my parents to help reduce that pressure on me, so I could easily just focus on other things. So that part wasn't so much of a challenge. It was actually my life here in Canada that I experienced a lot of I'd say all of the building moments that helped shape me as an individual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that recently you got your PR, which is your permanent residence.
Yeah.
Now, why did it take so long? Because that's about 11 years.
Yeah.
Right. How come it took so long for you to get that?
Well, I'd say so. With studies, that's like 3 or 4 years gone. So that makes sense because I'm in school and I can't really do that.
Okay.
So that makes it a bit less. A lot of the challenging parts was one, from the age I came in here, a lot of the rules didn't apply to my age because I was too young. There was also a bit of a transitionary period that happened, and one of a bit of a setback was the work I was doing for a while. It actually didn't count towards me getting my permanent resident application. So sometime in 2017, 2018, I had to do a restart of the process. On top of that, then COVID happened, which set a lot of delays in action.
Right,
A lot of
right.
other small hardships in between there.
So did you actually apply at one point and was denied, or also you were denied
Oh
originally?
yeah, I believe that was back in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, that was actually how I knew that my work didn't apply. Because when I had, I was like, oh yeah, I've got the amount of years I need to work here, and then I put in the application. It was like, no, this work means nothing. And it was a big blow because in the sense of like, you spend so much money in the application process, sending everything, you think everything is going all smoothly, and all of a sudden it's like, no. And it was pretty bad to the point where it was like I only had less than a year. And that wouldn't have been enough time for me to even get the experience I needed.
Right,
So
right.
that was one of those really, really defining moments where I was like, holy, wow.
Okay.
So I take it you like being in Canada. You wanted to stay here.
Absolutely. That's the reason why I despite that big setback of, oh my God, okay, I don't have the time or the experience or this thing. It was what helped me push here because I came here by the grace of God for a reason. And I made sure I would give everything I have. I'll put the very best I possibly can. All I can do is just live in the hands of God so that it can see me through. And if Canada was the place He had destined for me, it will make a way. If not, it will make a way.
Okay. Now, I noticed when you were coming in, you had a speaker and a guitar and a keyboard. How many different instruments do you play?
Well, 7 and counting. I always say 7 because it's such a nice number. But the way I learned music was actually I was self-taught, so I didn't take any professional music class.
Where did you start? What was your first instrument?
Good question. I mean, if you want to include me playing the pots and pans at when I was a baby, sure, that would be the first.
Yeah, steel pan.
Yeah, exactly,
Yes.
steel pan. But the first instrument I had was a piano my dad gave me.
Okay.
Yeah, like a toy piano. I remember that piano because as soon as he gave me the first week, I'd already ripped out almost all the keys out of it. I'm sure my dad wasn't too much of a fan of it, but
And how old were you at that age?
I think like he gave me when I was 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't something like this. It was
Just a little small one.
yeah,
Right.
and I was like and then there's a da 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 da, one of the default songs there. But it was because of that exposure to music, and a good supportive environment. I think that's what really helped me. Actually, even till now, that's one of the big life lessons I've taken ever from growing up, even with music. Surround yourself with people who are supportive and people who help you. Maybe they do not see the goal because it's pretty hard to find people who see the exact vision.
Yes.
Or people who do not crowd you with negative energy to the point where it can destroy your dream and your ambition.
What are those instruments that you play?
So a few of the instruments I play, well, drums, piano, acoustic guitar, bass, harmonica. I used to play saxophone. Recorder, I was trying out for violin this year, but nah. I recently picked up the artiphone, which is kind of like an...
Say again?
The artiphone. It's a new instrument
Yeah.
that you've probably never heard of.
Because I said, no, you didn't say saxophone, but you said something phone.
Yeah, it's an artiphone instrument. It's made by a company down in the States. It's a really, really awesome instrument. And nowadays, the instrument I take with me on the go the most is my phone, because I do production. Once I figure out to produce music, I figured I could literally do it directly from my pocket or from my iPad or from any mobile device.
Wow.
What is your favorite instrument to play?
Well, it used to be piano when I was growing up. It transitioned to guitar in university. Now I'd say it's my phone because I can take it anywhere and I can make a lot of incredible pieces without me even having I gotta be in this room, or I gotta carry this heavy equipment. I literally just bring it out from my pocket. There we go.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, actually I do. youtube.com/seon.producer. So that's SEONN.
Right.
THA, then producer, so PRODUCER. So that's why I show a lot of my mobile music production tips and my musical adventures, where I get to meet with a lot of really great people.
Okay, so you are utilizing your YouTube and teaching people, as you said, you're giving them tips.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
when you were learning these different instruments, did you use Google as well and take advantage of tips that are out there, or you just sat down and just figured it out yourself?
Honestly, so I won't deny the power of Google, because I actually do Google when I'm stuck. But the best way I learn an instrument or anything, it's I take it, I try and understand, how did the person make this thing? How does this person want this thing to sound? How do people use it? And I try and mimic what they do to try and see if I can get something sounding similar. If I get something that sounds, whether it's bad or good, I then try and, okay, how do I change it to sound a bit better?
Right.
And then if it gets frustrating, then sure, I'll Google it and see how everything is. But that's usually my thought process whenever I approach anything new, whether it's a musical instrument or any new device.
Are you trying to learn any more instruments?
Well, it's not out of the possibility right now, but I think I've reached the point where I want to master the instruments I do have. There's this saying about jack of all trades is a master of none, but it's most times better than a master of one. Yeah. At the same time, you don't want to oversaturate yourself where you get too crowded with a lot of options. So it's good when you find that, okay, you've pretty much found a lot of the things you like.
Right.
Try and hone in on that craft and try and get better. So that's where I'm like focusing right now. Because even that setup there you're seeing, that my keyboard there, it's actually not my keyboard that's making the sound. It's my iPad. All the sounds you will hear me playing.
Really?
Yeah, that was just on my iPad.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish we had time for a demonstration, but we don't. But I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued with that. The fact that you're telling me all this, do you have aspirations of perhaps maybe owning a music store?
Well, music store would definitely be nice, and maybe in a like a 10 or 20 year plan.
Okay.
Right now, it's a combination of me sharing my gifts with the world, and it doesn't have to be like some grandiose tour or concert. It's me just being an inspiration to many people I see, using teaching platforms like YouTube, Instagram to show lessons, helping develop the next generation, whether it's through the church I go to, or even people I just meet randomly across the street. Because I meet some musicians who are just playing gigs. I have great conversations with them, and we exchange contacts, and they end up becoming better. Maybe not musically, but just with the knowledge I've learned along the way. And I think for now, that's pretty much it. I mean, maybe like in the near future, I'd go on tour, and by tour, just visit a few different places out of my regular social circle. But yeah, I think that would be my immediate goal. Maybe in the future, I'd open like a store and a music school.
Okay.
That's wonderful. It's always great to have inspirations and keep growing and going forward. How do you stay in tune with God? And like, what's your secret?
Well, there is no secret. It's pretty much God, the revealer of all secrets. So, well, I'd say again, it leads back to what I said originally. First, surround yourself in positive environments. Whether it's having great family members to support you, or being purposely putting yourself in positive environments. Whether it's through the music you listen to, the books you read, and if you feel yourself like you're fading or you need that strength, that's why you reach out to those networks or to those music to try and energize your spirit, because it's so easy to get distracted by the things of life or to get stuck in our own little world that we end up losing ourselves. And of course, prayer and meditation, prayer and fasting.
Okay.
In those lowest moments and even in the high moments.
Now, whether you subscribe to the terminology plandemic or pandemic, we just came out of what I call a very challenging time for humanity. I've never, I've been on the earth for 57 years, and I've never experienced one entity influencing the entire globe, next to Jesus. But I'm curious as to how did you cope? It lasted from 2019, and some people would even say that we're still going through it because you still got to do the COVID test and so forth. But how did you manage to cope through the season of COVID?
Well, the COVID season was definitely tough because I didn't get my PR until just almost after the pandemic was over. So it was a time where there was a lot of additional stress in between there. What definitely helped was staying in tune with the Word of God, surrounding myself with positive people, music, also taking walks, taking long walks. Yeah. The great part about the pandemic, and I saw this as an advantage, is there's not as many people. So as long as I kept the right amount of distance, I could actually see what's out there, listen to the sound of nature, take long walks, spend the time to try and better myself. Maybe I wouldn't have access to all the resources as I would have normally done.
Right.
Because it pretty much just became a new world at that point. I mean, even in downtown Toronto, people were seeing DS crossing the streets. But it was a chance to take a step back and listen. And that's something I hadn't done because in the midst of everything, it was always going from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, or doing so many things at once that was the first time I was like, be calm, listen. This may not be going the way you want it to do, but just be calm. So, all in all, I think despite everything that happened in the pandemic, I think it helped build me up as a person. It helped me be stronger. It helped me see things a bit more clearly that I normally wouldn't have seen because I'd be so busy and distracted. So, despite, of course, the negative impact it had in the world, I don't try and dwell on the fact that it had happened because it's already happened.
Right.
But I try and take the lessons learned from it and use it to push forward.
Did you lose any loved ones during that period of time?
Yeah, actually. So I lost an uncle back home in Nigeria. I wasn't even able to visit him because, of course, we couldn't travel and everything.
Right.
I also missed a bunch of important life events in person that I would have loved to attend. So yeah, it definitely was as I say, it was definitely an interesting moment. I don't necessarily dwell on it, not in the sense of trying to ignore the fact that it happened. Whenever I do remember, I choose to remember the good moments I had with him, with my uncle, because honestly, I'd say it was one of the main reasons I was able to come here to Canada. It was one of the people who actually did a lot of the legwork for me. So that I'll never forget. So whenever a lot of people bring back Canada and how I got here, it always comes to mind. So that's one of those things that I don't look at it in a sad way. I look at it that he planted the seed. And he's got a better view now because he can see the entire thing. Back then, he could only see what was going on back home. Now he can see the whole scope.
Awesome. Before we ask the last few questions, we're just going to break for a brief commercial, and then we'll come back and close out with a few more questions for you there, Sam.
Sounds good.
You're doing an amazing job, by the way.
How would you like to own a messenger service that when you talk, text, and share videos, you actually get paid? The Punk Panda app is a military-grade encrypted communication app created with the primary goal of protecting you and your content. Addressing the top 3 concerns in people's online life, which is personal privacy, data security, and it allows you to download 15 to 20 minute video. So download your Punk Panda app today from your app store. Use it, share it, own it.
Want to take control of your health? Use June's Healthline with Pure Trim. Pure Trim offers a variety of revolutionary, life-changing products that will not only boost your health, but your mood. Take control of your health with June's Healthline and Pure Trim.
And we're back and with Sam Amgonda, and we just have a couple more questions to ask since the show is coming to an end. How do you plan to leave this world a better place? A little bit of a deep question.
Yeah, we're going to the deep one, yeah. But it's a good question to end it off. The best way to leave the world in a better place is pretty much as you take a walk, with the way you interact with others, with the actions that you do, with the words that you say, with everything that you do, you try and leave a positive seed in people's lives. Maybe they won't remember that it was you who planted that seed, but it will grow into something that you would never even expect.
Just like your uncle that helped to plant the seed for you.
Exactly.
So pay it forward.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
It's a very, very profound answer there. We thank you for that, Sam. How can the viewers get a hold of you? What's your social media connection? And try to say it a little slow so we can hopefully get it on the screen.
Yeah, I still do talk fast. So my social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, it's all the same name. Sion the Producer. So that's SEONNTHA Producer. So PRODUCER. So Sion the Producer. All one word.
Okay.
Check on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's all the same.
Awesome. Sam, I want to thank you for coming on the show and, showing us your melodious voice. Happy to have met your sister, and we're looking forward to having her back on the show. Can we just get some hugs going here while we close out the show?
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You're about what, 6'3", 6'4"?
6'5", 6'6".
Oh.
Thanks so much.
All right. So we want to thank you here at Holy TV, all our viewers. Once again, we've completed another episode, and we are looking forward to be in your living rooms again in 2 weeks' time. We are every other Saturday. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Powerful Steve, the King of Inspiration. And remember, aim high, spread wings, fly.